Greetings everybody, welcome back to Empowered Independence, a vlog series from the IMLC, and today I'm really excited to be talking to our first guest. Now when I think of an independent artist that's not only making amazingly professional music, but also earning an income from their art and setting a great example to other artists, our next guest would be near top of that list. With a CC catalogue that has been streamed millions of times, I'd like to introduce musician and producer Scott Holmes.
How are you doing?
All good. We're really excited to have you here, Scott. And we'd just like to hear a bit about your background, how you got into music.
For me personally, as a youngster, I was never really into music. It was more my father that was the musician. And he was into a folk Scottish band called the Corries. Yeah, just two guys that like play acoustic guitars and stuff. He was massively into the Corries, always had an acoustic guitar by his side. He would always pull me out of my bed and get me downstairs singing Corries songs with him. He passed away in the 90s, and the one thing that he left me was his guitar. So I was around about maybe 12 years old at the time, and I thought I would pick the guitar up and just have a twiddle around with it or whatever. Sure. But then around about that age, that's when we got into the whole, like, I don't know if you were a part of it, but the whole metal epidemic where it was like Slipknot, Slayer, Metallica. That was it for me. Like, I think I seen like a Slayer song called Seasons in the Abyss on
Seasons in the Abyss
too.
Yeah.
And from that moment forward, I decided to grow my hair. I eventually joined a metal band, started with my best mates. Self-taught guitar. I used to just like listen to the CDs, and I would just like listen to it and pick it up from there. Was never ever taught. I never had the confidence. I was quite shy as a youngster at school and stuff like that. I never got guitar lessons, just too shy. So I picked everything up by ear, progressed from there, started a metal band. We actually done rather well. I think it was like within 2 years of the band like forming, we won like a competition in a place in Scotland called Lawrence Kirk. And I think that was the pivotal moment for me where I thought, wait a minute, like we could do something here, or I could do something here. Yeah. So stemming from that, we then progressed on to end up getting a record deal from a record label in the UK called Rising Records, which has kind of got a bad name these days for the guy that owned it. We got a record deal with them, which granted us then access to go and do some festivals, feature on Kerrang. We had our CD out in HMV and everything, worldwide.
Amazing.
And yeah, but unfortunately, like I'm saying to you, the guy that owned the record label kind of just screwed everybody over. And I think with that, the confidence within the band kind of just shattered, and we all kind of fell out and went our own separate ways.
Oh no. And
so I'm the only one that's kind of, I mean, I'm still friends with them now, but I'm the only one that's really focusing on music. They've just all got their families and stuff, so I think they're kind of a bit jealous of what I do.
Sure, I bet
they're always like, how did you manage to do what you're doing? Like, but I don't like telling people how I do it, because, well, close friends that are musicians I might, but I was in a pub one time after the band had split, and this man approached me and says, "You're that guitarist guy." And when somebody says that to you, you're kind of like, "Oh well, cool, yeah, I'm that guitarist guy." But he says, "I've got like a job opportunity for you," which is basically working with school children, teaching music with people with disabilities and stuff like that. Basically a full-time guitar tutor, but with that on the side. I mean, the title was actually called music officer. So I went for that, but keeping in mind, going back to what I was saying before, I knew nothing about music theory. I was self-taught, learned absolutely everything. I mean, if I was in the company of some people and we were all having a jam and somebody said to me, "Go and do a G to an A minor," I'd be like, "I don't know what that is." But if you play it, I'd be able to learn from just watching you.
For sure.
So anyway, I went for that interview. The guy liked me, we got on fine, told me the position that I would be doing. And basically, when I started the job, there was a drum tutor at the time doing guitar work, and obviously he was just filling until they got someone. I then got started, and the kids at the time knew more about theory than I did.
Wow.
So I was like winging it, honestly winging it, just to get this job. I was like on YouTube for about like 50 hours a day, just like trying to learn guitar theory.
Music theory.
Yeah, by getting the students as well to like show me what they've been learning, like actually taking it in myself.
Yeah.
So And with that, like the first week as well, the owner of the company actually sent me off to Lawrence Kirk, place where we won, funnily enough, that competition. My first assignment was to work with a bunch of school children to basically produce a song, our own song, and go and record it in the main studio in Dundee, Scotland.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, great, this is awesome. Like, this is totally up my street. So I got on the train, went to Lawrence Kirk, and I walked into the hall, and here they are all of them in a group sitting with their fiddles, their violins. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, I don't even know what a G major is. How am I going to be able to tell them how to play their string instruments? So, but anyway, I managed to work something out using guitar, kind of just got them to copy the sounds of it, and it all worked out. So I was doing that, working with this company called Showcase the Street for about 2 years, until I decided to go independent with guitar tuition, and I just worked between Arbroath, which is where I'm originally from, and Dundee, which is about 20 miles from Arbroath. So I worked between those two places for about 2 years. But then, obviously, the FMA thing, like that kind of happened as well. And I mean, if you want me to get into that, I can get into
So
that.
how did you discover the FMA then, and what was the impetus
So,
to get your music out there?
So basically, I was like releasing like a few post-rock songs. I was just kind of like mucking about, testing things out, recording. Same with like recording my own music. Like I didn't know what to do with that at the start. I kind of learned it all myself and just on YouTube or whatever. Yeah. So I just released a few songs, and that kind of gathered traction on like Facebook and stuff. People were like saying like, you should like release like a proper album of this or something. And I have this old school friend from when I was younger. His older brother contacted me and says, hey dude, you should upload your music to this place called FMA, because like I'm getting like over like 500 listens a day or whatever. And I was like, that's amazing. But at first I was just like, it's probably going to just be another poxy site that I'll just upload stuff and I'll just sit there for years and probably have 30 listens or something.
Exactly, yeah.
But to my surprise, obviously, Cheyenne, she approved my stuff and I uploaded it, and I got like over 500 listens in like a day, and I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing. So that was what year? 2017?
2016, I think it was.
For sure.
Yeah, 2016, I think so, yeah.
Because that was all, Shaolin was the old FMA manager, wasn't she?
Yeah, man, she was a legend. Like,
yeah, she was really cool.
Yeah, she was very cool.
So that's cool. I mean, it's very similar to me. I mean, I because there is a lot of sites where you put your music up and you just can't see how are people finding it, but it just does on the FMA. I don't know how. It just has that community whereby it's just things get picked up, right? So that's
yeah.
So was that the first? I guess this is you kind of your metal days are done, and you're making this new kind of production music, and as you stated, you kind of learned all this production yourself, again independently, all on kind of YouTube tutorials and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's really interesting. Yeah.
So basically, because of the whole guitar tuition thing, then the 2 years after that, I was pretty much clued up on music theory, especially guitar theory and stuff. But I just wanted to just throw in there as well that after guitar tuition, I then got asked by my mum's next door neighbour if I would join like a kind of bluesy soul band, like jazz band.
Oh, cool.
A wedding band. And at first I remember like when you showed me that they were looking for a guitarist, and they were like, look, our guitarist's about to join the Navy, we need someone like pronto, we've got all these weddings coming up. And it is weird because my musical journey things have always seemed to just like fit into place. It seems like I've never really had to look for anything. It's just like one thing happens after another, and I've been quite lucky with that. Yeah. So I joined that band, and again with joining a band like that where they're all clued up on music theory, I then got more advanced in my understanding of music theory. We've done that. I done that for 7 years. Played as a wedding band, like a functions band, doing pubs every weekend and stuff like that as well. So gathering all that new information with music theory, I then developed more of an understanding how to write music and things like that, and construct music better. And then I just started messing around, and I don't know, I guess to begin with I was writing music for myself, but I think as the business progressed with FMA, I started writing music for other people, and I think I have been doing the same ever since.
Yeah, I think you can really tell that's why your music sounds very sort of professional. And then if you were, for example, if I was a client kind of looking for music to use, you know, especially in my corporation or my business, you know, your music is such a selection of professional sounding tracks that you probably cannot actually find on another public, like to such a degree on with another publisher, you know, all under your kind of banner. So that's really impressive that in your music career as well, from hearing it, is you have been independent from the start, really. You know, learned music by yourself, you're self-taught guitarist, you're self-taught production, you've self-taught yourself theory, and now you've self-taught yourself publishing and licensing music, you know. And these are all things that people usually would go get degrees in, you know, go to college to study, you know. And that's really the model that we kind of push, because you can do all these things independently, you know. You can exactly, because you know, I've learned, again, I didn't have any music, I had music lessons, so I was lucky enough to learn music theory, but you know, production and things like that I've learned all on my own, and all the other instruments like guitar I've learned on my own. You know, I've not needed lessons for that either. And I've, you know, everything is, you know, self-published, everything is independent, you know, you can control all of it. And I guess with your experience with being signed to a record label as well, it kind of shows you the fragility of those situations as well. You know, these people, when they're in control of you, they kind of have you in this place. You can only do what they kind of allow you to do. Did you find that your experience of that while you wanted to stay independent?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, when you're young, you're very naive to a lot of things. You've only got like this like vision in front of you, is like, I want to support like Metallica one day. And, like, people are like telling you to sign contracts or whatever, and you're just like, yeah, whatever. Just like, I just want to get here with my music. I don't care about everything else around me. But then obviously, because we got screwed over and stuff, we were signing things that we probably shouldn't have, and we should have got looked over legally, and we didn't. And I think from that experience, it opened my eyes a lot more to wanting to do things independently. And I think as a collective, as a band, I think we were actually going to do that, just go independent, and just because you can, like with social media nowadays.
These days you can, yeah, absolutely.
So easy.
Exactly.
But in terms of my business, I've learnt a lot as well, because I'll cover actually something. I watched of your video recently to do with Epidemic Sound.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And how you were talking about them.
Sure,
and
that's better, yeah.
Lawsuit and stuff like that. Well, I've dealt with plenty of them as well. People stealing my music and things like that. And it happens all the time. Apple, Spotify, and you're just...
It's depressing. Yeah. You kind of need a whole department to deal with it.
Yeah, man, it happens to me all the time. Like,
exactly.
I'll get it happen at least a couple of times a month, I would say. I'll get like a client that's paid for a royalty-free music license. They've uploaded their video to YouTube, and then lo and behold, they'll get a notice from YouTube saying that this song is owned by someone else. So then you've got to go and look up this person and try and find information about them.
Yeah, find out where the distribution comes from. And then distribution companies will infamously never get back to you.
Well, I noticed that if you put in capitals at the bottom saying legal action, that tends to scare them.
Exactly. I mean, thankfully there's this old retired music solicitor who will write you like quite a cheap letter for like, and he charges £250 an hour, you know. So I mean, most solicitors are like $2.5 grand just to see them, you know, just to have a chat with them. But so that's good. That's really good. Anything exciting that you're working on at the moment, music wise?
Can I just quickly say though, before we move on to that you're a legend of FMA. I told you that before.
Oh, thanks.
You've got to remember that, like, I have to thank people like you, because without people like you, then I would never have caught on to the whole idea of like licensing, the licensing structure of FMA, leading to a website for somebody to license and stuff like that.
Cool.
Because I was so like unaware that you could actually do that to begin with, but then gradually with FMA, I was then understanding that there's specific licenses for whatever music you wanted to put out there or whatever. So I think I probably would have looked at your model and what you had on your FMA page, and I probably would have kind of just copied it.
Sure, yeah.
So,
I'm really glad, because, you know, it's exactly the same thing. I was I was aware of licensing because I've been signed to back in the day when I made sort of dance music. I was signed to a kind of a label, and I had a meeting with their publishers and stuff like that. So I had an awareness of this kind of thing. With the FMA again, like it just kind of like people were just asking, and some people were just saying, "Can I give you money to use your tracks?" I thought FMA is like a sales funnel, you know, so you can use it like a sales funnel for your own kind of stuff. So just gradually over the years, I've you know, it's just naturally built up that way, you know, and because there's a market for it, obviously, you know, because there is this gap between like really high end publishing and licensing where the fees are just very, you know, exclusive. But there's also now a growing number of content creators, and that's growing every day, where they need this music and they need access to it at kind of reasonable prices. And if you're a musician like yourself or I or Nick that can make quite a lot of music, then I think it's definitely worth setting up this model, you know, because you have your own, all you're doing is selling licenses. Your product will always be there, you know, it'll never need replenishing, you know, or like you never need to go to a post office to send something out, you know, it's just there. So really it's the perfect kind of model, and it's what you love doing, right? You love making music, and it's just like, if you love making music but you have no interest in fame but you want to make a, you know, living out of it, then this is like the perfect thing. You know, there's so much out there, and it's just a bit of faith and a bit of, you know, wangling to, you know, getting the websites built and all this stuff, and it really is possible. And you're an example of that. You know, I'm really actually, you know, honored that people have seen what I've been doing and thought that that is something that they could follow. You know, that's really means so much to me, you know, so that's really good. I'm so pleased that we can, you know, support each other in this way. And I think as independent artists, it's important to support each other. You know, that's another reason why we set up the IMLC, just to get this collective. And we've got big kind of plans to make it similar to the FMA, where we can release Creative Commons music on there. You know, like you'll all have an account where you can, like, you know, upload your own music on there as a Creative Commons, on a Creative Commons license for downloads, and try to get a similar thing. But because the thing we found with the FMA is that it's not that clear, the guidelines as to what you can use, because a lot of people assume, I can use this, it's on the Free Music Archive, you know, you get that all the time. So that's the most frustrating, but just to have that more clear, you know, this is the license, this is what you can do with it, this is what you can't do with it, you know, not this is free to use, click here, you know.
Even something as simple as even just releasing a license with the downloads.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly.
But for me personally, for the next thing, I had actually planned to do something similar to you guys. I think it was the beginning of 2020. I wanted to pump a lot of money into creating a different website and employ different artists. It's pretty much similar to what you were going to do, but I think I was going to just keep it, try and compete with the big boys, as you should say. But it just all fell through. Basically, the people I was working with couldn't design the website the way I wanted to, and I kind of just let it slide by the side. So when you says you had plans to do the IMLC, I was totally thrilled that you asked me to be a part of it. I think
we were thrilled to have you on board. You know, that was really exciting for us. You know, so I mean, that was the same. We were trying to find someone to build a website because Nick was literally learning it from scratch, how to use WordPress and stuff like that. And you know, he learned it so quickly and he learned it so well. And again, it's in our nature to try to just keep it independent. So, you know, he built everything. You know, he learned how to do everything. We've had a few kind of user issues, but you know, it's to be expected. And actually, it works. I paid like $3,500 for my website. You know, Nick's website is so much better. You know, so you know, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, he's done a good job. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks really impressive. So, and anything exciting you're working on at the moment?
Well, I have to admit, I would say over the past couple of months, I've had serious writer's block. Like, I don't know if you ever get this, man. Like,
do you find that in
you're like, have you not like surpassed 1,000 songs now?
Really? I mean, now I'm so close. I'm like, there's something in me that's slowing down. I'm just like, do I want to get to it? Yeah, but I'm going to do it this month, I think. Yeah, I'm going to do it.
But I think it kind of goes back to what we were talking about, how I don't really write music for me anymore. I write music for like other people, like for their business models. But I just get like writing music, man, and production and things like that. I'm really hard on myself, and I just want it to be the best. I want everything to sound the best, and I can make a lot of music, but see, when it comes to like mixing and mastering, I can spend weeks on a track.
Really?
And then and then before you know it, I'm like fed up of the song and I want to move on to something else.
Well, that's the thing, because that's definitely an artist's perspective. Because when you're a producer or a musician, you hear it, you're with it, so you're hearing all these things that generally people who are just listening to it are not hearing. You're finding this is sound, and they don't care. To them, it sounds great. Infamously on the FMA, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but the tracks that are my throwaway tracks, that I think I'm just going to put that on the album because whatever, like I don't care about that track, it's crap. It will stream and download the most, So your view is not always of your music is not always the you have a very kind of subjective view, because you're with it all the time, So often you just need to mix it, master, even if you're not 100% happy with it, just get it out there, especially the FMA, and especially if it's not music that's like so close to your heart. That's where you need it to be perfect. Just get it out there, make money from it, just put it out.
Yeah, totally, man. I think with the start of COVID as well, like my girlfriend was then working from home, and she's a social worker, so she was like made an office in the next room from me, so she was always on the phone every day, so I had to do everything in headphones.
Oh yeah.
And I just couldn't do it, man. It's like I was so used to just blaring music, and like I had like because we actually just moved. We moved a year ago to Montrose, which is about 18 miles away from our road, into a bigger house. She's now upstairs and I'm downstairs, but I've just not really, I can't get to grips with the room, and man, I'm just like,
that's the last thing you need. You need the space to be right. You need.
It needs to be right for me. And just writing music at the moment, man, it's like I've got all these tracks written. I've got like plenty of ideas. I'm sure you'll do the same. You'll like start an idea and then you'll save it, work on something else, and then maybe go back to it.
Yeah.
Well, I am just doing that all over the place.
But never finishing any of them. Yeah.
Oh, for me personally, like see the whole corporate stuff that I do, that's definitely without doubt the best selling stuff.
Oh yeah. That is what you do amazingly. That's your sound, your niche.
Thanks, man. I mean, it's like it's not really music you want to sit and listen to, is it? It's music that's just perfect for like real estate agents and stuff like that. Exactly. And it's also not the best music to like write, because personally it's just boring. I prefer like go and write like an orchestral score or something like that. But if something works and you make money from it, you're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, you have to feed, I think, all aspects of that tree. So if those kind of tracks make money, you need to keep making those tracks. You also always need this kind of selection. The more varied you have, the greater chance you have of working, right?
Yeah, exactly. I do get a lot of emails from like people that like have bought all access passes from my website and stuff, saying, when are you making more corporate music? It's just
there's the call. There's the call.
Like anything else? Would you like maybe some rock tracks? Corporate music.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so
it's been so good chatting to you. I'm sure we'll do this again, as we kind of
definitely. Anytime.
Maybe with Nick as well, that would be
Okay, man, thanks very much
really
for your
good chatting to you, mate.
Having me on.
Yeah, have a good day, man. Take care.
So thank you to Scott for that great interview. Just shows how you can make your hobby your career and do a career that you love. Be sure to check out his website, scottholmesmusic.com, and come check out the imlcollective.uk's website, full of Scott and other great independent artists' music. Peace.